These are other things that can actually affect your oxidative stress levels, your insulin resistance levels, and your inflammation. And the first thing, and I have you written in capital letters because these are things that you get to choose. If you want to help with these things, add some at-home things, the foods that you choose to eat really make an impact on oxidative stress, insulin resistance, and inflammation, okay? So the very first thing you want to be doing is you want to be eating more foods in the way that they came in nature, okay? So you think about meat as it came in nature, your fruits, your vegetables, your eggs, those things, the more that you eat things in the way that they came nature, they are less processed foods, okay? So even the Whole30, all those kinds of things. You want to monitor your carbohydrates. And this is just something I learned in that insulin resistance class, is that our body really, depending on how much exercise you do and how much dense muscle tissue that you have, but our carbohydrate need within our body is between 50 and 75. So if you eat more than 75 carbohydrates a day, you are telling your body, go ahead and store that as fat. That's what you're telling your body to do. If you want to decrease it and decrease it and decrease it, you can actually get your carbohydrates down to like 25 or 30. That's okay to do too, all right? But 50 to 75 is all the carbohydrates that we can use up per day. If you go beyond what your carbohydrate burn-up is, you're telling your body to store that as fat, okay? Okay, and the other thing that you want to make sure is that you're getting enough good salt in the body. I tend to use Celtic salt by Selena Naturally or Redmond salt. Those are two very good salts to be using because we don't want to throw our electrolytes off. If we have insulin resistance, too high of insulin levels, just a little side note of this, we will crave sugars. If our electrolytes are off, we are going to crave salty snacks. So those two cravings are a sign that there's an imbalance going on within your body. And then you want to increase your proteins. And of course, the best, most pure protein that you will ever find are eggs and meat. Sometimes people try to put these other concoctions kind of together, but anything beyond eggs and meat comes with a carbohydrate load. So even if you're increasing your protein, you always have to look at how many carbohydrates am I bringing into the body as well. So if you want to know how many proteins you specifically need to eat, it's 0.75 times your ideal weight in pounds. Okay, so if you want to weigh 100 pounds, you should be eating about 75 grams of protein. It's not really that hard to do when you're eating pure proteins, okay? The other thing is that you want to give your digestive system a little bit of a break, and that means like 12 hours with no food in it. That's not really that hard to do. If you stop eating at 7 o'clock at night, you don't eat breakfast till 8 o'clock in the morning, you've got that 12 hours of fasting time. That's really what we want to be doing. Now, you can always fast more for different health reasons if that's what you choose to do. The exercise that you choose to do, okay, the best exercise is the exercise that you will do every day. That's the reality of it, okay? It's not a particular exercise. It's really which exercise will you do every day. Weightlifting exercises, it actually builds more muscle, and because of that, it burns up more insulin and burns up more sugar. So if you're trying to look at insulin resistance and trying to do that, then you want to do some weight training things, okay? Exercise is also key for circulation. Circulation is the way that our body gets nutrients and energy around to every cell in the body. So movement is very, very important. The lymphatic system is how our bodies gets rid of waste products and moves our immune cells around. So just general movement is so healthy for circulation and also lymphatic. If you do anything with red light, that naturally increases circulation through photomodulation, which means light coming into the body. A vibe machine, that's that vibe plate that you can stand on. And then also a roller table. Roller tables many times are found at health places or even like chiropractic offices and things like that. And the roller table really rolls up and down the back from the tailbone all the way up to the neck. Chiropractic care is very good because we want to just keep all the circulation in our entire spinal column open and moving and flowing and working. Okay. The emotion that you choose to hold on to, and so this is something I've dived into quite a bit as well. Whenever you hold on to some emotion or things aren't quite right, what that can actually do is it can stimulate the vagus nerve. When the vagus nerve is stimulated, that's the fight flight response, when you feel like you have to run from something. And some people, just through their thoughts, they're very anxious and they feel like they're running from a bear just through their thought processes, not that they really are in any physical danger at all. But what that actually does is it increases cortisol levels. When you increase cortisol levels in the bloodstream, the body thinks that you need a lot of quick energy. So the liver releases more glucose into the bloodstream, and then it calls on the pancreas to release more insulin into the bloodstream. So if we don't keep our emotions calm, that can interfere with metabolic processes. So when some people are telling me that they're doing everything right, they're eating all the right foods, they're taking all the right things, they're exercising correctly, but they're still having some issues with weight management or with hormone levels or whatever it might be, with inflammation within the body, then my next thing to really look at is to say, are you holding on to some emotions? And the thing that I find with most of my clients, and even sometimes with myself, is that I'm trying to control the behaviors of other people. And that is what's causing me stress. Well, we don't have any control of that. We can give our advice, we can state our opinions, and then we just have to let that person go through their decision-making processes and not try to control that person. That many times is the biggest stressor of people's lives, okay? The other thing that you can do is to spend at least 10 minutes per day in quiet or listening to some relaxing music. Now, there's many different musics that are out there, some for anxiety, some for depression, some for goal setting, some for whatever it is. But we know that there is music that causes agitation and there's music that calms us. And so you want to be doing that. And don't be on your cell phone or don't be watching TV when you're trying to do this. It really needs to be at least 10 minutes per day. The other thing at the same time that you can be doing is taking red light in through the eyes and in through the skin. If you choose to do this 10 minutes in the morning when the sun rises, or 10 minutes in the evening when the sun sets, then you're getting a red light and you're getting your breathing in and you're getting your music in all at the same time. But that can really, really keep that vagus nerve very calm. In my studies, what I found is that red light combined with vibroacoustical therapy, which I do have at my office. And so what it is, it's a bed, or I also have a cushion that you can sit on, and the sound comes through the speakers that are embedded into the cushion. And when you sit on there, the body feeling that vibration in the same frequency as the sound that's coming in, overall just really is probably the best and most non-invasive way to be balancing out that vagus nerve, keeping the vagus nerve calm, which keeps the cortisol levels in check, which then it keeps metabolism in check. But that's why emotions can really play a huge part in that as well. So now the next thing is